Hey guys, so yeah, I went on the business trip thing today down to the plant. It started out as kind of a fiasco in a way because I didn't see it when they pulled in to pick me up, so they were waiting for like 5 minutes, and the guy was like wandering around, and the guy that worked at the hotel chased after the bus. It was kind of goofy. Why they didn't just call me on my cell phone first, or like actually pull up in front of the hotel, whatever, and then get to the airport there. Flight's delayed. Potential. The flight's delayed because it took the plane. The plane was late getting in, and then there was warnings about a potential weather problem because the weather was so crappy in where we were going, Kumamoto. We could have been redirected back to Nagoya or to the other airport that's sort of in the area. That would have sucked. This is the factory tour wasn't too bad. The unfortunate consequence of this being, I thought I needed safety shoes. I forgot to bring mine. Whatever. The other Adam has safety shoes, so I borrowed his. I just wore them. His feet are about a half size smaller than mine. I now have blisters on the backs of both of my feet. This was really bad when we were, like in the plant it was getting bad, and then like I had my shoes off on the plane, and then walking out of the plane, the walkways coming out of the planes in this country are disgustingly steep, at least at Chubu, or Centrair, or Nagoya Airport, whatever you want to call it, NGO. All of my weight was, or like a lot of my weight was basically on these blisters that had formed and already popped. That wasn't pleasant. It was excruciating. And then the walk back to the car is terrible because it's a giant airport. The amount of walking is probably worse. What we had to go through is worse than my only frame of reference here really is if you are at the farthest terminal and have to go all the way to like where you and have to walk all the way to like the farthest car in the garage that's attached to the airport at the McNamara terminal. This is probably twice that far. It's horrendous. And they have really weird moving walks too. They're basically just giant conveyor belts. So you walk on them and you get the weird like roller sensation as you go over those. And all the stuff says please watch your steps, which I just find hilarious because we say please watch your step, not watch your steps. And it's English everywhere. And so every time you get on or off one of these things, it's please watch your steps. A very pleasant voice. The airport I'm just gonna stick this up here. At Kumamoto is kind of depressing. It's definitely like a 50s, 60s vintage. It's like the old like Smith terminal, I think it is at Detroit Metro. That's still standing, but it's not used anymore. That was kind of nifty. Another funny thing about Japanese domestic air travel. They try and be all big and environmental and stuff like that in this country. They're really not. They use a lot of paper everywhere. Evidenced by this. This is what it takes to get onto a plane. So you get this from the ticket counter. I don't have this. I haven't had this. This is domestic. I haven't had this like getting on the flights back to the U.S. Back to the U.S. is just like flying domestically. You get your boarding pass. You go through security with the boarding pass, showing your ID, and you get on the plane. Here you have to go to the ticket counter and get this thing. This is check-in notice. This is the only time they check your ID too. So like when you're going through security, they don't check your ID. It has the QR code on there that you have to scan at the security checkpoint, and it depends on the airline what you get, because there's a different one for JAL and ANA. I was on ANA, which is All Nippon Airways. Then you get this. It's a gate notice. It tells you what gate you're supposed to be at. As far as I can tell, that's the only thing that's on it. It tells you your destination date and what gate and flight number and everything. this says all that on it. You get this again. And then, when you have to scan this again when you go to get on the plane, and then you get this, which is your, in fact, boarding pass, that again has all the same information, but your seat number is really big on it. Ugh. I don't know why. And if any of you saw my Twitter, I should probably start another Twitter account to link with this, but for those of you who watch these videos and actually watch me on Twitter, and if you don't already have it, you're not going to get my Twitter ID, so don't ask. I will never complain about the space legroom on a domestic U.S. flight ever again, because it's worse. There's probably at least 2 inches less room. My knees were literally against the seat in front of me. And what made it worse, too, is like the thing on the back of the seat that the tray table's attached to and everything has these little ribs along the side of it that actually decrease the amount of legroom on either side by like another inch or two, or like another inch and a half or something like that. It was bad. It sucked. Fun thing though, so when we went to the plant, it's actually an Asian plant, the company I work for, but they also have, I'll take this out of the little baggie that it came in, their own label of shochu, apparently. So they gave us all 3 of us who were there, a bottle of this stuff. I'm probably going to drink this while I'm over here, so sorry, because I think my bag's already going to be enough overweight that I don't really want to bother with this, and I don't want this breaking on the way over. So I'll enjoy this with you guys in mind. It's probably terrible quality, but it was free. And again, this wasn't checked. You can bring liquids on planes in Japan. They don't care. Go figure. Apparently, the sad thing about the consequences of all of this is that we couldn't do any sort of sightseeing, so that kind of sucked. So I brought my big camera essentially for nothing, but whatever. These things happen. It was a crappy day anyway. It was rainy and nasty, and honestly, I still would have wanted to walk around in it, but my feet would have been completely destroyed by the shoes, and it's not my own fault. And it was that's a tough situation too. Apparently, Kumamoto too is the origin of eating horse in Japan, which that's like a big delicacy around there. No thanks, and they eat it raw too, so I'm not much into the eating raw stuff. And then the other thing apparently that they're known for is red sweet potatoes. Who knew? And I tried. They have their big gift shop thing in every airport in this country. That basically, if you go on a trip, you're supposed to get the people a gift to like share with them, kind of a thing. I'm gonna take care of that mostly for work and stuff like that. A week from today, actually less than a week from today. I'll be on a plane a week from today on the way back to the U.S., which I'm very excited about. But I'll be getting something that I've already gotten stuff, my friend's stuff. I might get some other stuff for you guys there. But I also got, going through the gift shop, one of the red sweet potatoes, like I said there. And so I tried this little like cake stuff that they had made with it. It was delicious. It was indescribable. Just a nice sweetness to it. Just all around amazing. And so in the airport, they had these. Japan has all kinds of crazy flavors of KitKat. If anybody out there reads the AV Club food reviews, even if you don't, you should. But these are red sweet potato KitKat. So I'm looking forward to delving into these at some point. This is coming down the line. I'm not going to have that tonight. But other than that, I don't think there's anything. I mean, that was a lot of stuff special to report on. So I'm not going to try and overload this with too much content. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow.